Hi, and welcome to the NSX-T Datacenter Continuous Integration Pipeline demo. This pipeline for Concourse is based on a set of Ansible scripts that are aimed at achieving everything you see on the screen here and are officially developed by VMware. There's not a lot of steps involved in deploying this pipeline. Even Concourse deployment is automated. The runtime usually takes about an hour, so we sped up some bits in this video. The pipeline itself can be found in the GitHub repo that you see on the screen. Full guidance on deploying this pipeline, requirements and operations you can find in its wiki page. Now we will log into vCenter and we'll see the underlying vSphere. We can see that this is an empty vSphere environment with two clusters, one for management, one for the workloads. On the jump box where we're going to deploy Concourse, we created a single folder /home/Concourse in which we are placing a single file, which is the parameter file for the pipeline to use. We'll edit it and you can see just a sneak peek into the configuration. For more information, check out the wiki page on the repo. I will download now the Docker image that allows us to deploy Concourse automatically. You can always use this pipeline with an already deployed Concourse server. You can find the link in the GitHub repo. We will download it into the jump box. After the image was downloaded, I rename it to remove the extra characters in its name. And the next step is to load it into the Docker images repository. Now, the Docker run command. You can see the different parameters that you can change in the Docker command here. Now let's watch and see which containers are coming up. The first container is the base container, and the next container is a project, open source project called VMW CLI, which basically downloads VMware bits from my VMware. We can see that it's downloading NSX Unified Appliance 2.3 and the VMware OVF tool that is required to deploy the OVA image. You can also download the bits and place them manually in the /home/Concourse folder, so it bypasses the download process. As soon as the files are downloaded, the next container being deployed is NGINX, which will serve the files for the pipeline, and then Docker Compose will start the Concourse server, register the pipeline. We will now access the Concourse server using the URL supplied in the run command. Log into the Concourse server, and we can see the pipeline is already registered. The orange boxes are resources the pipeline still needs to access. We'll wait until they'll clear up before we run it. We can see that we can run each step of the pipeline separately or run the full pipeline from the top, which is what we'll do right now by hitting the plus sign. In the interest of time, I sped up the following part of the pipeline run. You can see Concourse downloading the containers that are required to run the task. Now, Concourse is deploying the NSX manager. We can see it in vCenter. And now we're deploying the controllers. In this case, I'm deploying a single controller. And the edges, which in our case I'm deploying 2 edges with an AJ VIP to support them. And now the first task is finished. We deployed the base control plane of NSX-T, and the second task is now running and deploying all the logical constructs, which are the tier 1, tier 0 routers. And the last step is configuration, what we call the extras, which is NAT, load balancing, and additional components. And now the pipeline is finished and NSX-T is deployed end-to-end. We will now access NSX Manager for the first time. This is our first login to NSX Manager, and while NSX is fully configured and deployed, we have never accessed the NSX Manager console before. Everything was deployed using the API, the Ansible script using the Concourse pipeline. It will now ask us for the end user license agreement. Again, first login to the manager. And we can see that all the components have been deployed. We will now go into the Fabric nodes, and we can see that we set up automatic installation of the NSX clusters. You can see that all the hosts got installed. All the tier 0 and tier 1 routers that are required for PKS and PAS have been deployed using the template provided in the GitHub repo. The router ports that provide access to tier 0 to the physical networking was deployed, and all the NAT rules as well. And the last thing we're going to see is the load balancing also have been deployed. So what we saw in this demo is NSX was deployed from end to end using the API alone. This case was Ansible scripts deployed using a Concourse pipeline, and all the pre-requirements to support our workloads have also been deployed. So from an empty vSphere environment all the way to support the deployment of the workloads on NSX. Thank you for watching this demo.